Hi there, welcome to another episode of the I Heal, We Heal podcast. This is your host, Melissa. This is a pretty special episode as it symbolizes the season finale for the I Heal, We Heal podcast. And if you've tuned in, I very much appreciate it, and I'm glad you're here today. We will be picking back up next year, so right after the holidays, finishing off the 2024 year and the first season of this podcast, talking about manifestation and basically a lot of the things that have shaped my healing journey have been understanding the concept and practice of manifestation. It's definitely a topic that has been popularized recently with sort of like manifesting your dream reality or dream experiences. And that's partly why I've been called to share a little bit of not only my experiences, but everything that I have learned across actually experimenting with this. And if you've tuned in before, you know that I quite literally manifested this reality in which Melissa is healthy and thriving and isn't held back by cancer, which wasn't always the case, because at some point I did. I had cancer and was, going through all of that and trying to not only understand the spiritual side of it, but also understanding the physical aspect and quite literally living through it. And so I guess questioning whether manifestation is really what's painted out to be is something that you sort of start looking into and studying when you are passionate about changing your current reality or your current state. And we'll start here. You are always manifesting. That is a fact. You're always manifesting. This is where the difference comes in. There's two types. There is conscious manifestation and unconscious manifestation. With conscious, it's what's popularized today and what I've seen a lot of is, change your thoughts, change your behaviors, and you get a result, right? Yes, but the other part of it is the unconscious manifestation that sometimes you don't really take into consideration when, I want to change my reality. With the unconscious manifestation, it's always active, and that's why it's unconscious. It's the programmings and beliefs, not only about yourself, but about your reality that are running in the background. So if you have been consciously manifesting and you're like, I'm not getting the results, I'm not seeing it, it's just not in my 3D right now, it hasn't gotten here yet, it's because you still have these subconscious programmings running in the background, and those are the ones that are weighing into your manifested reality. Often these subconscious programmings or beliefs are limiting. They come from a place of lack, inadequacy, insecurity. And so this overall poor self-image is what is being reflected back to you in your 3D reality and experience day after day. Maybe there are these self-concepts of like, I'm not worthy of XYZ, or I don't deserve to feel XYZ. I'm not enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not successful enough. And so because you're always co-creating with the universe, again, consciously or unconsciously, the universe will always give you what it is that you believe. So if these beliefs is what your self-image is based on, that's what you will recreate time and time again. Different character, different setting, but the role will be played out time and time again. And so I'm saying this not only from personal experience, but from observing others, that this is the biggest hurdle when it comes to manifesting. The easy part is the conscious manifesting, but the one that will get you every single time is those unconscious or subconscious programmings that are running. And so a really great question to put things into perspective for you and sort of start to deconstruct and find the foundation or the roots in where your manifestation is lying on is to ask yourself, how would you act or feel when living out your manifestation? I think this is called like living in the now. It's basically weighing in the importance of being present, because in the present moment is all that you have, but recreating the emotions, the feelings, the internal stuff as if you were to already have whatever that manifestation is. So if you're manifesting a trip, okay, imagine the feelings and how you would act had you already had that trip booked. So you already have the flights, you already have your stay, you have all the details planned out. How would you feel? How would you act? You'd probably not be thinking, oh, I'm not worthy of taking that trip. I'm not rich enough to take the trip. I don't have the connections or the opportunity to make that flight. You just simply wouldn't, because the trip is already booked. It's a fact. You're going. When you make something a fact for yourself, it has to play out. By the law of the universe, it has to play out in your 3D reality. And that's why embodiment is one of the biggest keys to manifestation. You have to be it and feel it before it arrives in your 3D reality, because your 3D reality is always going to be at least 3 steps behind into what you are consciously and unconsciously creating by your thoughts. When you're living in the state of your wish already fulfilled, you allow for this receptiveness to sort of turn on. And so you're receptive as to when signs and signals start popping up in your reality as confirmation that the universe has heard you and the universe is moving pieces on the chessboard to make that a wish of fulfillment, to make it fulfilled. And so you can probably also understand why when manifestations are coming from a place of desperateness or emptiness or lack, there are hurdle after hurdle that you basically put for yourself. You just lay them out and you're like, okay, I'm going to trip over this, this, and this to get to my destination. This is what I mean with reshaping those subconscious beliefs. Then there's a conscious shift of I'm not worthy of XYZ to I'm so thankful that the universe loves me and is willing to give me XYZ. The universe loves me and is always bringing me amazing experiences and people. And those are just a couple examples, of shifting from these emptiness or desperateness states of mind to a more plentiful and grateful place, because you truly understand that you are always co-creating with the universe, and the universe always gives you what it is that you are creating. You understand that you're not creating from scratch. These experiences and people are already existing. You are just co-creating with the universe, understanding that the universe is moving those little pieces around to get you to those experiences and people. Another great practice is visualization meditations. These meditations, the intention is to visualize you in that wish fulfilled state. So quite literally, you're visualizing in your meditation how it is that you feel, act. You're recreating that scene of where your wish is already fulfilled. So if it's a trip, again, let's use the same example. If it's a vacation you want to take, you are quite literally visualizing yourself on that beach, in that forest, fill in the blank, and creating that scene from scratch, and you're visualizing it. Now, this only works for people that can visualize. That's where the trial and error kind of comes in with conscious manifestation, is looking as to what works for you, because what might work for me may not work for you. That's me being totally transparent into conscious manifestation. A visualization meditation is amazing for me. It's helped me. It works for me. But then again, it might not for you if you can't visualize. There are people that quite literally cannot visualize. So if that's you, then opt out for options like being in the state of the wish fulfilled. So it's not necessarily, like I said, visualizing it, but it is feeling it. And it's because what we create is rooted in emotion. So the emotions that you're feeling is sort of like the fuel or the catalyst. That's why it's so important to come from a plentiful, abundant, and grateful place with your emotions, and understand to regulate the emotions and always kind of be like at a balance with the emotions, your emotional state. There are also other ritualistic ways of doing it with like candle work, journaling, writing, scripting, which if you'd love to learn more about these different manifestation techniques, I'd love to expand on them. But basically, touching back on like what I was saying with the emotions being the sort of foundation for everything, whether you're consciously or unconsciously creating, is because you'll sort of realize it if you are manifesting from a dysregulated place, desperate place, or place of lack, rather than abundant place. This dysregulation also will cause fluctuations in your reality. So you'll see things that are like sort of approaching you, these opportunities, these people, and then you'll sort of see it like kind of like fade out in your reality. You know, the opportunities and people will start to come in and then they kind of like ghost you because you're creating from this dysregulated place. Dysregulation can look like flight or fight, very wishy-washy with your emotions, and also back and forth with your self-concept and subconscious beliefs. If today you're believing I am abundant, I am wonderful, I am magnetic because you had great experiences, but then you wake up tomorrow and first thing that happens to you pisses you off or whatever, and then you spend the rest of the day in that low state, you've just fluctuated. And so your 3D reality has to, by law, reflect that back to you. So it will fluctuate in the experiences that you receive now. You'll receive great experiences here and there, but then you'll also experience these situations or people in which they reflect back to you the dysregulation of when you started your day pissed off and then kind of carried on in that low state. With conscious manifestation, the key to it is detachment. It's truly understanding, okay, I place my order and I let go. I'm not sitting around waiting, oh, when, where, who, what. It's been a week, it's been 3 days, it's been a month. No. With conscious manifestation, detachment is key. You have to place the order and then let go. It's not like you go out to eat and then, you place your order or whatever, and then you're asking the waiter or the waitress like every 5 minutes, like, hey, I placed my order, right? Like, where's my food? No, you already consciously know, no, I already gave her my order and she's going to bring it to me. You may not know when, you may not know how, you're going to know who, but you're not going to know when or how. You don't know how the food's getting prepared, you don't know who's making it, you don't know how many people are going to grab a plate before you do. You don't know all these details. And so I guess I'll touch on synchronicities, because synchronicities are basically the universe's little green lights or check marks. Think of them as like check marks. The universe heard your order, you placed it, wonderful, great, and then you'll start getting synchronicities. This is basically the universe's way of communicating to you, okay, I've got your request. These will come to you in numbers, like repeating numbers, 111, 333, 555. Maybe you'll see a very specific shade of green, a very specific shade of blue, whatever. Specific names attached to, whatever it is that you're manifesting. If it's a specific trip, a specific person. Literally anything in your 3D reality that becomes a pattern is a synchronicity. And so this is why also what I had mentioned earlier was the receptiveness. When you completely embody this manifestation, right, you enter into the state of receptiveness to these synchronicities. You'll be aware, okay, 333 keeps popping up in my reality. The next step to that is identifying the meaning behind that synchronicity. So let's take, like I said, 333, for example. You will see it after you have consciously or unconsciously had a series of thoughts associated with your manifestation. That's why it's so important to become the observer in your reality, so that as soon as these synchronicities start popping up, okay, my order's been placed. The universe is now moving the parts it needs to get me to whatever that is. This is also why synchronicities are also very personal. 333 might mean something to me, but means something completely different to you. This was something that earlier on in my journey was pretty confusing to me, at least, because you can Google right now, what does 333 mean? and you'll get a bunch of hits on what it means. But the thing is, they're going to be very general to you. They're not going to be, oh, okay, in my reality, it means this. And so that's why it's so important to become the observer so that you know, oh, I was just thinking about XYZ, and then right before I saw 333. And so now I know that 333 is probably attached to XYZ. You kind of take mental note of that. And then as time kind of goes on and you continue to see the synchronicity, you kind of mentally check in, okay, was I consciously creating that same XYZ that I took mental note of last week or yesterday, whatever. That's how you kind of start piecing 2 and 2 together. Everything is communicating to you. The fact that you're listening to this podcast episode on manifestation is probably because you were already in the realm of manifesting things, trying to understand it better, or questioning yourself about it, whether it's real or not. Somebody told you about it, and now it's kind of like in your reality to some extent. So today I leave you with that question. How would you act or feel if you were already living that manifestation? If you're still here and are interested in making 2025 one of your best years yet, focused on reprogramming these subconscious beliefs and thoughts, focusing around personal growth and improvement, my coaching availability for next year, 2025, is now available. I have 3 different programs, so there's definitely something that will fit you and your schedule or your needs. We can meet weekly, bi-monthly, or once a month. And I have 3-month and 6-month programs available. If you're interested in more information, definitely reach out either through my podcast site, on social media, or on my coaching site, which is up now, Spiral of Light Coaching. These are all one-on-one sessions, and we use the Akashic Records to truly tap into your soul state, your soul mission. Also, for a short time, probably through the end of December, I opened up some free Akashic Records sessions. These are short 30-minute reading sessions in which we open up your records and you're able to ask any question that you're interested in knowing about your current present or possible future timelines. So if you're interested in a free sesh, definitely reach out. Thank you for listening to another episode of the I Heal, We Heal podcast. Happy holidays, much love and light to you, and looking forward to connecting again in 2025.